How y'all doing? This is Kuya David, and welcome to Off Page, a poetry vlog brought to you by the Prime Poetry League. And Happy New Year! It's 2016. With a new year, new goals, and maybe one of your goals is to finally try your hand at Poetry Slam. But where do you even begin? Well, we're going to help you with 6 tips on how to start your Poetry Slam season for 2016, because after all, at the beginning of the year, we are all undefeated. So, tip number 1, memorize your piece, because it's very easy to lose track of where you are in a piece if you're trying to read it, especially off of paper where you're flipping through pages and you're looking at the text, you're looking at the crowd, you can lose track immediately. Or if you're scrolling through a phone and you get a notification, boom, you just lost your whole piece just by that. So memorize your piece. That way you can focus on your performance. And you can also focus on staying under the time limit, which brings us to tip number 2. Write under the time limit. Actually, you want to write 30 seconds under the time limit, because in American Slam, which is about 3 minutes on average, if you go over the time limit, you start getting points deducted. And if you go at like 3:15, 3:30, you get completely disqualified. And you don't want that to happen. So right under the time limit. That way you give yourself some headroom just in case you stumble and you have to recompose yourself, or you say something crazy and the crowd starts snapping, you can let it resonate and you can keep calm and perform on. Tip number 3, perform, not recite. Spoken word is a performance art, and it uses poetry as a script. So even though you have a very strong text, if your performance is lackluster, unfortunately, it can go in one ear and out the other, because the crowd is there to consume the poetry by hearing it, by seeing it, by witnessing you. So you need to make sure that you are servicing the crowd on all ends of that spectrum. So that's overall body language, that's your vocal intonation, that's your eye contact. Practice in front of a mirror and sharpen that at an open mic. Which brings us to point number 4, eye contact. So this goes beyond what you learned in speech class of looking at the crowd to build rapport and scanning the crowd. While that is great, you can use lack of eye contact to express certain emotions and moods. If you close your eyes, maybe you're recalling a very painful memory. If you're looking up, maybe you're looking to a god or something. Or if you look to the side, you're anxious, you're nervous, you're suspicious. Using eye contact in that regard can express emotion and mood in a way that scanning the crowd really can't do. So eyes are a very powerful tool in your arsenal kit for spoken word performance. But when it comes to big gestures, now we're talking about poetry hands. Tip number 5, what to do with your hands. So hand motions are the biggest thing you can do on stage, but unfortunately, because of that, it's also very easy to get carried away. You don't ever want your body language to be louder than your poetry. So in various forms, in battle rap, it's known as the PG step. In hip hop, it's known as rapper hands. But in poetry, there definitely is a form of poetry hands. So you want to use your hands very sparingly. So if your performance is strong enough and your piece is strong enough, then you can get the crowd snapping with your hands in your pockets. But if you feel like accenting your overall delivery and performance, then use your hands, fine. But beware that it is easy to get carried away. And lastly, have multiple pieces ready on deck. This is tip number 6, because American Slam is typically 3 rounds. So you need at least 3 pieces, because you're not allowed to repeat pieces. So you need to have at least 3 pieces, but the more pieces you have, the better of a chance you also have at rebuttaling or following up a poet who went before you. For example, if a poet before you had a really angsty breakup piece, you could rebuttal them by having a really jovial and positive piece about love and relationships. So that's something to consider. Have multiple pieces. Stay writing just to keep the reservoir fresh. So in summary, remember to memorize your piece, respect the time limit, perform, not recite. Remember to keep eye contact or make use of lack of eye contact, the poetry hands, and have multiple pieces on the ready. All right, so with that in mind, hopefully you guys have a great start to your 2016 season and start killing shit. All right, so this has been the Off-Page Poetry Vlog brought to you by the Prime Poetry League. This is Kuya David, and remember, the points are not the point. The point is the poetry. All right, good luck, guys.